This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you as live as it can be from Honolulu, Hawaii, overlooking Greater Oahu. The lead stories are WordPress 5.0 Armagedon. First Man, yes, the First Man story, another movie about Neil Armstrong. Facebook is having a really bad year. They just got crushed over in the UK. We'll talk about that. There's some email exposure. And big tech has your kids' data, and it may be just your fault. I want to welcome you to episode 1332 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, December 6th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals. The best deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And we have a change to one of the offers tonight. You too can support this show at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the brand new listeners. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the show out for the very first time. And I tell you, got a great lineup of stuff for you tonight here. And of course, if you're brand new to the show, we want you to take time and get over to the website at geeknewscentral.com. And when you're over on the website, you're going to be able to get subscribed to the show real easy via Apple Podcasts, on Android, via email, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify. Yeah, we've got about 12 of you that listen to the show on Spotify. Can you identify yourself, please? Can you email me here at the show and let me know that you are subscribed and how you're getting the show and how easy it is, or what is the experience on Spotify? Love to hear from you. Of course, you can get the show with a standard RSS feed as well. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about on subscribing to the show, just go ahead and click on more subscribe options on the main page at geeknewscentral.com. Of course, you can get the newsletter for this show. That's the easy part. Just go down a little bit on the website. There's a link there for you to subscribe to the newsletter. The newsletter contains everything that I'm going to talk about during the show today. And basically, all you do is you get a recap of what is on the actual website. So if you come over to the website tomorrow morning, or today, or this afternoon, whenever you may be listening to this on your device, you'll find all the show notes. And that is exactly the same thing that comes in the newsletter. So make sure you do that. Of course, you can watch this show on your Apple TV. You can watch it while we're live. We'll talk about that in a second. You can listen on blueberry.com. You can listen on your smart home device by using the keyword to launch your device and say, play the podcast, Geek News Central. We're live every time I'm in Honolulu. And if you're on the live stream tonight, we want you to say hello. Check in, please. Make sure you do so. But we're at live.geeknewscentral.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Where else? Of course, Twitter, Twitch, Mixer. All those locations are destinations where we're live and all at once, all at the same time. So definitely check this out. You can join our chat room by going over to geeknews.chat. Join our Mastodon chat server. So check that out. That's available for you to get aligned with and stay connected with Johanna. And of course, you can join our Slack channel. Just send me an email on that. And you can contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or on Geek News at Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook. Don't forget about our partner shows. I was talking with Kirk just real quickly tonight on his show, GNC Weekend Review. He was saying, hey, these are the numbers. How should I feel about that? And I say, it's a start. We need to work on promoting your show. So if you're not subscribed to Kirk's show, Kirk is the executive producer here. He produces the majority, or he actually finds the majority of content that I'm going to talk about on every episode. And him and I are synced up pretty good. And so I'm pretty pleased with the lineup of content. And I typically go look in and find maybe 2 or 3 things. But check his show out. And of course, that is available. If you just go over to geeknewscentral.com and went on your website, all you got to do is click up in the header up there, and that's going to take you over to GNC Week in Review. And it's basically got everything there that he's been talking about. Same kind of format that we do here at the podcast, except it's Kirk's show. All right. So GNC Week in Review, definitely check out Kirk's website. Again, this is his baby. He takes care of all this. GNCweekly.com is the domain to go to. And so it's, get connected with the show. Of course, don't forget about the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain, my Pro Gear site that's written by the writing team, progear.guru, the New Media Show at newmediashow.com, the Podcast Legend shows. And of course, you can always pick up cool Ohana gear, cups, mugs. You can pick up, if you're still using mouse pad, t-shirts, hoodies, cafepress.com/Ohana store. And of course, this show is sponsored by our good friends over at GoDaddy.com, the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast in the podcasting space. There's no show on the planet that has been sponsored longer than this show by a single advertiser. And that's saying something. GoDaddy's been with me since June of 2005. And we want you to check out all the deals. Now, I have to do an update to the website. Now, I told you all for some time that the deals were changing. The $1 a month economy hosting is gone. The $1 a month economy hosting and $1 a month managed WordPress hosting is gone. Gone, gone, gone. So now it's $249. $249 a month. Big change here. All right. So we'll be talking about that as we get into this. But you can still save 30% on new product purchases. You can get a .com for 99 cents. You get a $249 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free month. $249 a month for the first year. Includes a free domain. You can get a $249 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. Or you get 1 month free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder. Okay. So this is what it looks like now. $249 per month, and you get the basic. All right. The basic is what this starts out with. And you can also pick up a few additional savings if you do it out some extended years. It gets you a website, 10 gigs of SSD storage, 25,000 monthly visitors, SFFT access, a free domain, again with an annual plan, and ProSite's multi-site management tool, which is pretty cool. So the next step up is $12.99 at GoDaddy. So $249 a month is the dealio right now. Okay, so that's the savings. That's the best deal I've got for you. The $1 a month deal, which we've had, what has that been? 3-4 years we've had that $1 a month deal as a trial. But still, if you think about this from a pricing standpoint, at $249, $30, essentially $30 with a free domain, still gets you up and running for a full year. And that's with the basic site. So you really can't beat that. Even, $12 was better, but just a little bit of a bump here. So anyway, this is the new offer that you're going to get when you click on the $1 a month economy hosting. I'll get that updated on the website so that it reflects the actual deal that you're going to get. And but we want to thank GoDaddy for being sponsor here. And those of you that dilly-dally, the deal has changed. Yes. They just dropped it on me. Literally yesterday got the email. So no reason why. That's just the way things happen, the way things work. So definitely check out the deals again at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. So boy, it was $1 on Monday, $1 on Tuesday, and Wednesday $249. So anyway, thanks GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here at Geek News Central and their ongoing support. Okay, so bada bing, bada boom here. Let's talk a little bit about the. Okay. If you're following me on Facebook today, you saw that I got the Rossman's repair diagnosis. And let me read exactly what they said. Hey, Todd, unfortunately, we are unable to repair your MacBook. The damage is beyond repair. A lot of the components are damaged on the inside, and there's no fixing that. Please let me know how you would like to proceed. Well, I said, let's ship it back, slow boat to China. I'll tear it apart and use it as training materials in my podcast. And I told him, thanks for giving it a good look. And so we're arranging shipment back. Slow boat to China. So the folks over there are really good. And they've had a real nice ticketing system that allowed me to stay in contact with them on what was going on. And so I'm really, professional-wise, from the Rossman Repair Group out of New York City, I'm very, very pleased with them. So I just want to let you know that, at least they were honest with me. And of course, they at least looked inside the machine. Apple did not do that. They just quoted a price, obviously. So that is that. And a life lesson, right, folks? So I'm going to tell you a little story about my car. And those of you that are new to the show, we spend some time at the beginning of the show just chit-chatting a little bit with the audience. And that's kind of how it goes. If you want to skip ahead for a few minutes, we'll get into the content here probably in the next 3 or 4 minutes. But my car's had an oil leak. I had valve cover gaskets replaced. I had a oil pan cooler gasket replaced, and I still had an oil leak. And matter of fact, it got pretty bad. And my driveway is a testament to how bad it got. And my head wife had taken it in once while I was on travel, and they couldn't figure it out. They said, well, we're going to need to do, told me how much it was going to cost. They were going to have to break some stuff down to get deeper into the motor, in and around the motor to be able to see what stuff was going on. And they quoted a price, and it was like $650. And I was like, I'd already put a couple thousand into this thing already, doing a bunch of stuff, not including just the gaskets. And so I just couldn't handle it no more. I was using 1.5 quart oil a week. That's how bad it was leaking. And we couldn't, I'm flashlighting. I can't see where it's coming from. Just every once in a while, you get a little smoke coming up. So this is a Midas dealer. Used them for years. Trust the guys over there. And took it into him yesterday. Dropped it off early. I said, take as long as you need it. I said, I'm going to get a rental car. I'll be back tomorrow. Let me know and what time, and I'll pick it up. Give me a call. All day. Not my phone didn't ring all day. You expect him to call saying, hey, we found it, right? It's about 4:00 yesterday. I called him. I said, hey, what's going on? He said, Todd, we degreased it. We're looking. We can't find a leak. Huh? We can't find the leak. We're going to let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow morning we'll run it again, but we can't find the leak. I said, impossible. Thing's leaking like a sieve. You should be able to see it running out of it. So this morning, I called him first thing, and I said, hey, if you can't find a leak, then change the oil. Change specifically the filter. The oil is pretty fresh because I've been built oil into it. And about 1:00, I went in to pick it up, and I popped there. We didn't find nothing. And here's the strange part: no charge, except for the oil change. I'm thinking, no charge. I mean, no charge. And then where I got to thinking about that, they missed something. They had to have. There's no way that they would bring that in, work on it all day yesterday, and then have me come in so there's no oil leak with a straight face and not charge me anything. There's no way. I expected to pay $650 for the diagnostic fee to tear this all apart. All this labor. no fee, no charge. And I'm like, so I'm trying to like be nice, and I didn't really kind of quiz them down or anything. So I paid for the oil change, and I drove out there and came home, and again, popped the hood again tonight. I'm looking, and sure enough, it's dry as it should be. There's not a sign of any oil. So they missed something when they did the oil cooler or the valve gasket. They found it. They just were like, oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. We better fix this and keep our mouths shut. So we'll see. I'll let you know how it goes. But they've been good before. They didn't tell me, why or what. Maybe they were embarrassed. I don't know. But this is like the fourth time it's been in there. All right. Big week next week for my company, Raw Voice and Blueberry Podcasting. The IEB certification we have went through. We've gotten the paperwork back. I think we're going to be officially designated Monday or Tuesday of next week. This is a big, big deal. Lots of money spent, lots of man hours. It was a huge, huge undertaking. We're going to be the first podcast hosting company, NPR. So we're in, NPR and us, I think, are going to be announced at the same time. So that just tells you, where we're at in the playing field here. So big week next week for us, my team, and some congratulations to them, of course. But talk about it more next week. Hey, also CES, boy, the bookings have been a little slower than normal. Emails have been a little slower, which is weird. And I don't fully understand it. It'll pick up, but it's a little slow going at this point. I think I booked 5 or 6 companies, and normally I'm at a much higher level, but it is what it is. All right, so today, Automatic released WordPress 5.0, and it arrives what is known as the Gutenberg editor. And in my opinion, this Gutenberg editor, well, I understand their purpose. It sucks. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. I've been playing with the beta for a while. I know what it means. And tomorrow, probably my team is going to be on the phone doing WordPress support for the Gutenberg update. It is what it is. And it has block-based editor, and it's got a new default theme, and it's got some developer features, and it's got some stuff that's good, but I'm just not a fan whatsoever of the new editor. And thank God they got me the plugin available to go back to the old editor. There's new APIs, and there's supposedly it's new ways of exploration, and it's in blocks. It's kind of set up in some ways similar to, I guess for a better, well, I've seen block type editing before in newsletter applications and that kind of stuff. I've never been a fan of those either. So now we'll see what happens here with this, but this is a big update, and we're just kind of panicking a little bit because it will typically end up being a big support issue for my team. But anyway, WordPress 5.0, it's available. It's on the street. If you have a WordPress site and you haven't updated yet, I'd wait a few days. I'd wait just a few days. Hey, I do want to caution everyone. Remember, if you have a real Christmas tree, they need water. And something that most Christmas tree places do when you buy a new Christmas tree, they will cut the bottom, take a little sliver of the bottom of the Christmas tree off to give you some basically some fresh open wood to be able to make sure the water can seep up into the Christmas tree. There was the government basically put out a safety video that should scare anyone that has a Christmas tree in their house. If you do not, please, if you do not water your Christmas tree, you could be setting yourself up to burn your house down. And they showed a dry Christmas tree versus a well-watered tree. And they say that a dry Christmas tree can go up in flames faster than a newspaper can. And if any of you burned newspaper, you know how fast newspaper will burn. So just be aware out there, okay? Make sure you get your Christmas trees watered. And that way you'll have a safe holiday and you won't come home to a smoldering home. Space.com is reporting Last Man on the Moon filmmakers to tell first man's story. So aviator, astronaut, husband, father, reluctant hero, that is how a new documentary describes its title subject, the first man to step on the moon. Armstrong from Tin Goose Films aims to tell the story of Neil Armstrong from his youth to his command of the first lunar landing, when it came after his return to Earth. The feature film is now in production, is due out in the spring. So exciting stuff. And it's nice to see that we continue to celebrate and people are still interested in the 50-year-old now Apollo 11 anniversary and what that entails. So we'll keep our eyes out for it and we'll let you know when it's available. So Facebook today, holy smokes. Holy smokes. They must feel like they're under siege. Because every few days there seems to be fresh accusations or leaks that paint Facebook into the worst possible light, and today is no different. And today it basically involves an absolute pile of confidential informational emails that have been published. And these documents are not flattering. The emails were obtained by the chief of 643, a software firm that is suing the tech giant, and were disclosed by Digital Culture, Media, and Sports Committee as part of the inquiry into fake news. About 250 pages have been published, some of which are marked highly confidential. Here are some key issues in an introductory note to some of these emails. Now, hold on to your hats. Think about this. I don't think any of us should be surprised at this point by what this is going to reveal, but check this out. Facebook allowed some companies to maintain full access to users' friends' data, even when after announcing it to its platform in 2014-2015 to limit what developers could see. It's not clear that there was any user consent for this, nor how Facebook decided which companies should be whitelisted for the special access. Facebook also had been aware that an update to its Android app that let it collect records of users' calls and texts would be controversial. To mitigate any bad PR, Facebook planned to make it as hard as possible for users to know that this was one of the underlying features. Facebook used data provided by the Israeli analytics firm Onova to determine which other mobile apps were being downloaded and used by the public, and then use this knowledge to decide which apps to acquire or otherwise treat as a threat. There was evidence that Facebook's refusal to share data with some apps caused them to fail, aka they were the enemy. They didn't get access. The apps were forced out. There had been much discussion of the financial value of providing access to friends' data. Facebook said 643 had cherry-picked the documents and claimed they had omitted important context. Oh, yeah. He said, Facebook said, we stand by the platform changes we made in 2015 to stop a person from sharing their friends' data with developers, said a spokesperson. Like any business, we had many internal conversations about the various ways we could build a sustainable business model. But the facts are very clear. We never sold people's data. They didn't sell it, but they gave it access to other companies who did whatever they darn well pleased. Zuckerberg even responding, he said, I understand there's a lot of scrutiny how we run our systems. That's healthy given the vast number of people who use our services around the world, and it is right that we are constantly asked to explain what we do. But it's also important that the coverage of what we do, including the explanation of these internal documents, doesn't misrepresent our actions or motives. But it gets even nastier. Justin Oskowski, Facebook vice president, said in an email, Twitter launched Vine today, which lets you shoot multiple short video segments to make one single 6-second video. Unless anyone raises objections, we will shut down their friend's API access today. We've prepared reactive PR, and I'll let Jana know our decision. Zuck says, yep, go for it. Android update. Michael LeBou, Facebook product manager. As you know, all the growth team is planning on shipping a permissions update on Android at the end of the month. They're going to include the read call log permission. This is a pretty high risk thing to do from a PR perspective, but it appears that the growth team will charge ahead and do it. The danger is, screenshot of a scary Android permission screen becomes a meme as it was in the past, propagates around the web, it gets press attention, and enterprising journalists dig into what exactly the new update is requesting, then write stories about Facebook uses new Android update to pry into your private life in ever more terrifying ways. So this was the guy that's the Facebook product manager. This is the email he sent. Can you believe that? Now, here's another one. The following is a discussion in which Zuckerberg mulled the idea of selling developers access user friends data. It is dated October 2012. Predicting the quiz involved in the Cambridge Analytica scandal was sent to Sam Mullen, who was vice president product management. Mark says, it's not all clear to me here that we have a model that will actually make us the revenue we want at scale. I'm getting more on board with looking down some parts of the platform, including friends data and potentially email addresses for mobile apps. I'm generally skeptical that there is as much data leak strategic risk as you think. I think we leak info to developers, but I just can't think of any instance where that data has leaked from developer to developer and caused a real issue for us. And so he's just talking about data leaks. They even discuss membership fees. That membership fees, if they even charge membership fees, wouldn't earn them enough. So that's what telling me they're making more money off each and every one of us that uses Facebook than what would normally be a value. So I can't pay Facebook enough for a membership fee to offset what they make otherwise. Is that kind of scary? So Facebook once again in the limelight. This should not be a surprise. They are an 800-pound gorilla, just like anyone else that's out there, just like Google. Now, if we want to go a step further and switch topics, all this privacy stuff for us as adults, but our kids are out there doing stuff, and we're talking about our kids on Facebook and all these places, and we know that many parents enjoy posting about their family in social media, adorable photos. They're also sharing crucial data about their children that big tech companies are harvesting. Johnny playing baseball, Susie doing ballet, Tommy playing soccer, Tommy's birthday, Susie's birthday, family members there, where they shop, what you bought the kids, what did the kids say they got for Christmas, all this stuff being put out there. The report calculates that by the time a kid turns 18, there will be 70,000 posts about them on the internet. And the message out there is we need to stop and think about what this means for our children's lives now and how it may impact their future lives as adults. This is only going to get bigger. So let's take action now to understand and control who knows what about our children. I think it's too late. I think it's too late. Kids have their own digital footprints that they're putting information out there already. I've got Nest cameras here at the house. Are the Nest cameras collecting data about my kids? Are they collecting information about my family? Kids are datafied even before birth. My daughter's doing it right now. She's talking about what she's buying. She had a wish list out there, sent it around, type of merchandise she wanted. All that stuff all goes into the marketing spool. I'm getting ads right now because they know I'm grandpa, so I'm getting all kinds of baby stuff being shoved at me. All these places I go because they know my daughter is about ready to have a baby and they know her shopping list and they're pushing it in front of me. We've already talked about the advertising or the parent magazine, and this 15 years ago, or 14, excuse me. 14 years and some months. You guys were around when we became pregnant for Chris, and my wife had bought a pregnancy test kit with cash. Found out we were pregnant, went to the military facility, had a pregnancy test done there, and within a week had a parent magazine arrive at the house saying, "Congratulations, Cochran family." So they knew then that we were pregnant before we'd even told any other people. Smart devices are watching our kids. Smart toys have already garnered plenty of criticism for leaving children's data like location vulnerable. British researchers from Pen Test Partners have exposed toys like Texta, Toucan, My Friend Kyla as being susceptible to hackers. So what will really all this data on our children mean for the future? Well, they know all about our kids. I would almost guarantee when I was a kid, they didn't know about me. They didn't know that what I liked. They didn't know I liked electronics and bikes and all the stuff that teenage boys do. But they definitely know what our teenagers are doing these days, don't they? You want to read this article in full? It's over at Vox.com. Today, the president popped into a White House meeting with Google, Microsoft, IBM, Qualcomm, talking about AI and 5G. And so I guess they had a discussion on that. So having an open discussion with the executive branch leadership listening in. Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall during those meetings to hear that? I wonder if that stuff is all public record, if there's a transcript. All right, Lyft. Lyft has beat its bigger rider Uber in filing for its IPO. So sometime next year, they are going to go for an IPO. They could go as early as the first quarter of 2019 based on how quickly SEC review its filing. People familiar with the filing believe it will be up to 20 to $30 billion. I bet it's more. Everyone in Wall Street, all those folks, they're in Ubers and Lyfts every single day. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Use Chrome? Do you get distracted much? Folks over at makeusef.com have the 10 best Chrome extensions for avoiding online distractions. The number one is a blank new tab. I kind of like that. Just have a blank tab show up instead of a whole bunch of little boxes telling you where to go. And there's a variety of stuff out there. So I have some links in the show notes. I like the one that says pause Gmail. My email is just a never-ending battle. Never, ever ending. In the morning, when I wake up, I probably delete 100 emails every morning right off the bat that I mean, it's people pitching me products, services. If I read every single one of those, I'd sit here for 2 hours reading pitch email, and I do everything I can to get off people's lists, but it's just impossible. So pausing Gmail is almost impossible because the important stuff is important. Do you have a charger you bought third party? Do you know if your charger's safe? Well, again, the folks at makeuseof.com have a good way to check your charger and what you should see and what you should be expecting and the things you should look for on it. So if you're buying Chinese knockoffs, which most of you probably have at some point, yeah, probably me too, definitely take a look at this article because, again, it's about safety, car safety, home safety, all that stuff. So I'll have that up in the show notes for you. 10 cool gift ideas for the Mac user. And we need to find one of these stories for the Windows user too. But right now, the Mophie Power Station USB-C XXL, very, very cool. 19,000 mAh space gray. It'll power your MacBook. Very awesome. The 12 South Plug Bug Duo. Basically, you can have your Mac brick plugged into this plug bug, and you can have some external USB plugs with it right there, right in the plug. So that's pretty cool. $40. I should bring the picture up for those of you watching. The CalDigit TS3 Thunderbolt dock. And because when I go with my MacBook somewhere, I just use the MacBook. I don't ever have it running in a dock here at the house because I'm using the iMac mostly. $309. Belkin Mixit Duratrek Kelvar USB-C to USB-C cables, $15. I like these tough cables because I'm pretty hard on them. Western Digital My Passport Portable SSD, very tiny little bad boy. It's pretty nice. And terabyte storage, much smaller than probably half the size and half the thickness of a pack of cigarettes. Real tiny. It's using those new type of SSD devices and something called a Logitech MX vertical mouse. I'm still a big trackball user, even with the Mac. So anyway, here's some deals for you. Makeuseof.com. Have the link up in the show notes for those of your Mac users. We'll see if we can find 10 cool gift ideas for the Windows users as well. Have you ever used WhatsApp? WhatsApp is big in Asia, and it has a 1.5 billion user. It's really not hard to see why. You can do a lot of stuff with it. There's search. There's you get notifications. You can send messages. You can do live calls. So all that's on WhatsApp. I have a link up in the show notes on that. If you have never checked it out, it's a pretty cool messaging app. Also, as of this new update of 12.1.1, basically AT&T users gain the ability to use the iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max in dual SIM mode. Verizon users will get it on tomorrow on the 7th. So most of you are going to be able to go dual SIM on it, even T-Mobile users as well. There's some videos on how to make that happen, how to do it. So those of you who've been carrying two phones around, this might be a way to reduce the number of devices you have to carry. Just a little bit more manipulation when you're making calls or sending messages. So dual SIMs are really, really popular in foreign countries. You basically have two carriers. It's almost the norm because of coverage is not universal. Depending on where you are, one carrier is better than the other. Here in the United States, it's pretty much the same type of coverage, maybe not as good of a signal, but you usually can get all the major carriers in all the places you're at. But very, very cool on this dual SIM mode. And it's really good for those that are probably going to be doing international traveling. It'll be cool to see if on international traveling, if they're going to go to these digital SIMs. Because most of the places let you or require you to have a dual SIM phone, basically with two SIM cards. I knew that was coming. Sorry, I sneezed on you. A little runny nose tonight. I don't know why. Okay, so Verizon back in the news again on emergency first responders. Well, they're making some discounts on unlimited plans. They're going to give emergency first responders $15 off their bill for a single unlimited line, $35 off for 2 lines, and $40 off for 3 lines or more. Are they not just so amazingly generous here? State and local fire, police, and EMS workers are all eligible for the discount, be current employees, retirees, or volunteers. So this isn't for the services. This is for the employees, all right? So for you, it's going to give you some extra access for you first responders out there. I thought this was originally for the municipalities. No. This is for personal plans for those of you that are, again, state and local fire, police, and EMS workers are all eligible for the discount. So, okay, I'll back off and not bash Verizon as much. But again, this is for personal plans, not for the plans that they're using for the actual emergency vehicles. The folks over at The Verge have a list of apps that they are they're basically recommending, talking about some cool apps here at the end of the year. One of them is Hopper. This is an app to finding low prices in flights and hotels. Google Photos, something called Haldy, Halide. Your phone's default camera app is more than likely designed to be simple and easy to use. But apparently, Haldy says it has some shooting tools, but also calls out its ability to capture photos in RAW for those of you that edit in RAW. Splitwise is an app that basically keeps track of who owes what among friends that are constantly, what is this? Venmoing? I don't even know what that is. What is Venmoing? I guess it's when you go out. Is that what it is? Huh. It's Venmoing. What is Venmoing? This is a new term. Let me Google this. What is Venmoing? Urban Dictionary. Thank you for Venmoing me money for the photo album of our Peru trip. Is it for Venmo? Okay, so it's for people that use Venmo. All right. Sorry. I guess that's a thing. Dark Sky is a weather app that does one thing better than any other. It tells you when it's going to rain. So here in Hawaii, just about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it rains. There's an article out talking about, will Apple iPhone replace your password? Apple's begun testing a new security standard called WebAuthn, elevating the possibility of using Face ID on your phone alongside a password and Touch ID to access highly secure websites. My banking is using Face ID to unlock my banking account. So I guess some of this has already happened. So Apple's begun beta testing support for standard in Safari Technology Preview Release 71. Web authentication technology lets websites, online services use hardware keys, typically USB devices, to authenticate your identity when you try to access them. These keys are usually used alongside passcodes and other security protections, including two-factor authentication. While not based on the same technology, many online banking consumers maybe have been offered authenticated devices by their banks, but such hardware software keys are also used by government and military contractors. So WebAuthn supports a companion standard called FIDO2. That's kind of funny because when someone says FIDO, I think of back to old BBS days. First in, data out. I can't remember what it stood for, which lets hardware keys use Bluetooth and NFC for authentication of WebAuthn sessions. In theory, this means you can use existing security devices, including fingerprint readers, cameras, and USB keys as website authentication systems. So WebAuthn is also supported by Mozilla, Microsoft Edge, and Google. And so we'll see where this goes. But I'm already unlocking apps with my face, but what about websites? Cool idea. T-Mobile is releasing a Slow Cooker Sunday. It's a cookbook by its CEO. So if any of you have been watching him and his cooking demos, he's going to release a cookbook that is called Slow Cooker Sunday. Many of you cook in crock pots. I haven't cooked something in a crock pot in a while. I usually use it for chili. All right, 5 handy Google Fi features you shouldn't forget. So if you are on Google Fi, I'll have that link up in the show notes. I won't go into it here, but good prepper for those of you on Google Fi. Facebook is testing something cool, and I hope that we are able to test that here someday, because I can think about this as a potential for the show to achieve some additional sustainability points. Facebook is testing a shopping mode for live streams. So wouldn't it be cool if stuff I was talking about, as we were doing the live stream on Facebook, a pop-up button would show up that would say buy now? For those of you that were watching the live stream, have the ability to buy on the spot. So this new feature allows merchants to more efficiently sell items on a live stream. When the seller demonstrates an item on their live stream, customers might see a screenshot button that lets them take photos of the items they want to buy and message the merchant directly. That's cool. The merchant can then send payment requests through Messenger to streamline the process. This feature is currently being tested in Thailand, where a community of independent sellers have recently taken Facebook Live to sell a variety of products from cosmetics to handbags and other fashion items. I've seen people do live streams called watch sales before, where people are selling a variety of watches online. Currently, sellers typically use a rather manual way to record sales, such as calling out individual buyers on the stream to message them with payment information. The new feature would make it less confusing for buyers and sellers, as broadcasts can sometimes move quickly as sellers shift one product to the next. Home Shopping Club on Facebook Live. Yeah! Everyone, the next thing up today is going to be a new wallet. I got a new wallet here from Tommy Hilfiger. We're going to sell this to you today. It is a nice leather wallet with a place to be able to hold up to 4 credit cards plus your ID. All you have to do right now is click on the button, and this can be yours for $7.95. You can pay through a Messenger. All right, folks, that's that product. We're going to move on here. Kind of cool, right? I'm thinking about this. I'm like, all right, so at the end of the show tonight, I'm going to have some stuff that I think is cool for you folks, some savings, some money savings. It'd be awesome if this would just be available as we were live. Of course, we can put this stuff in the show notes when you're listening later, but typically I don't affiliate link anything in the show notes. If it's another site, where affiliate money's going away. Matter of fact, we had someone email said, hey, I scored something from the last show. Thank you. And they actually set up a $5 a month contribution because of it. So it's kind of working. There's potential here, and we'll leave it up to people in Asia to figure it out, because there's a lot of people doing independent selling. Very, very smart. All right, NASA's next Mars rover will use artificial intelligence to be a better science partner. Experience gleaned from the EO-1 satellite will help JPL build science smarts into next rovers. So the 13-minute delay in communications between Earth and Mars means that movements and experiments conducted by past and current Martian rovers have to be meticulously planned out, while more recent rovers have had the capability of recognizing hazards and performing some tasks autonomously. They still place great demands on their support teams, but if they encountered a rock or stuff like that, they stopped. And then the team would have to back the rover up and readjust it and move it. But they say AI will have a future role in human spaceflight program. If they get true AI, of course, and they figure out how to way to put us into hibernation, the universe is accessible then. But maybe AIs will be the first to go out and represent us. The FCC chairman acknowledges that the Russians interfered in net neutrality debate. 500,000 comments sent to the agency about the net were from Russian email addresses. Well, if you have an open system and lets people submit stuff, do we really, is it restricted to just Americans? I'm sure that was what they wanted, but if you don't have no lockout, what do you expect? Walgreens has teamed up with FedEx for next day prescription delivery. Walgreens has announced that customers will be able to get next day delivery for their prescriptions. Walgreens may be looking to make changes before Amazon's acquisition of online pharmacy PillPack closes. The retail giant PillPacker this year in June. So that's smart. No one likes to go stand in line. And if your prescription goes in, they'll fill it. Why can't it just be FedEx to you? It makes much more sense. The service part of Walgreens Express, where they already has an existing relationship with FedEx. Customers can pick up and drop off packages at over 8,000 Walgreens pharmacies nationwide. So, very smart. I think this is a very smart idea. Pandora's podcast. If you're a Pandora user, some podcasts are in recommendation queue now. Not a lot of podcasts are there. Very limited run on a couple hundred shows. Maybe as many as 500. If you're using the Pandora app at all, let me know how it works and how you like the podcast on there. Geek News Central is not on Pandora yet. California's approved building code to make solar panels mandatory. I think this should be nationwide, to be honest with you. Some places it doesn't make as much sense as others because of the winter months not having as much daylight. But if you're building a brand new home, the cost of putting solar on it is inconsequential as compared to the rest of the house. If you add $35,000 the price of the home and have a 3 to 5 year payback on that, no matter what, with 25 years of actual usage, it just doesn't make sense not to put solar on. But starting in 2020, new condos, homes, and low-rise apartments will be required to have solar panels on the rooftops or generating renewable energy. The code provides an exception for homes that are blocked by taller objects, such as trees and properties that don't have room for panels on the roof. Most houses do. There's a new feature for Alexa. She will pepper you with questions to build better playlists. So Amazon rolling out a few tweaks that will make it easier to find the music you want to hear by telling what you like and don't like, and by conversing with the assistant about what you enjoy listening to that device, we'll be able to create more personalized suggestions and playback, even when you say, Alexa, play music. So, all about trying to make the playlist functions for you better. Sometimes I just want, like, Metallica, Def Leppard, AC/DC. That's sometimes what I want. Really loud. Much to the chagrin of my wife and sometimes my kids. When you annoy the kids with music that's too loud, you've accomplished something, folks. Walmart. If you work at a Walmart and you've been part of their janitorial team, Walmart will soon have autonomous robots scrubbing its floors. And it'll be sourcing these robots from a San Diego-based artificial intelligence company called Brain Corporation. The company mentions that Walmart will have 360 of these machines in its stores by the end of the fiscal year, which is January 31st, 2019. The machines made by Brain Corporation are called Auto C, and they're going to scrub the floors. So, interesting move here. There goes an employee. Of course, one employee to maintain it, and 3 employees lose their jobs. For those of you outside the United States, UK, and Japan specifically, network outages affected you today on O2. How was that? How long were you down? Any word on what the situation was? But anytime a mobile carrier goes down, it's pretty crazy. According to Engadget, Google is using AI to curate personalized news for smart speakers. Every morning without fail, this individual has been asking his closest smart speaker to play NPR. People do that? Actually listen to NPR? That's convenient, but it's only slightly better than turning on an old school radio. Clearly, there's much more that a web-connected voice-controlled speaker can do, and Google seems to have the same idea. The company announced today that it's developing an open audio news standard for the assistant. When you ask Google Beep or any other assistant-powered device to play the news, it will automatically generate a playlist of stories based on your interests using the same technology behind AI on Google News. Okay? So maybe you'll get something more than boring. This is NPR. You know, I'll be honest with you. If this show ever sounds like NPR, please let me know, because I'll turn every knob in existence to change the sound of this show. All right. Happy CEED week. So the Computer Science Education Week is kicking off, and it's a great opportunity for educators around the world to introduce their students to coding. So this has been, I think we missed the start of this. This happened on the 3rd. Did your kids have any involvement, anything going on with CSED week? If they did, I'd love to hear from you. Also, here's some product for you at the end of the show here. Set up your own mini movie theater with a $2.99 portable Pico projector. These Pico projectors are pretty good. And just be aware of the lumens and, how close you have to be to the screen and all that. Read up on that. But I do like some of these Pico projectors. Also, a review here of Google Pixel Slate versus the iPad Pro. Which one should you buy? And it got some good pros and cons here between the two. And of course, both of these are $9.99 at Amazon and at Apple. And so they talk about the pros and cons of each device. Anchor has a new Bluetooth scale. It's just $29 if you can bear to look at it. And I think I've got an Oofy already. I got an Oofy in the bathroom. And as long as I have my phone close to me when I step on the scales, it weighs me. Pretty good scale. No complaints on it so far. So anyway, that's going to bring us to the end here, I believe. Where are we at? Yeah, I think we're close to the end. And I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me during the show today. So my schedule for January gets even more insane. I just signed a consulting deal that has me, this is crazy. I get back from CES on the 14th. I'll probably have a day home, and I head right back out. I go right to the East Coast for 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm going to be doing CES editing on the road, out of the hotel. It's going to be wonderful. But the opportunity was too big to not execute on. But there's big changes coming here, folks. Next year, I told you about it already. I'm still planning on moving the show. That's probably going to happen very late May, early June. We're going to see some movement here. And as we lead up to that, we'll be talking about it. The show will continue, obviously, but there'll probably be at least a month, 3 to 4 weeks of no video. It'll be audio only as the studio is put into a container and shipped to the East Coast. So, that is still in work. Things will get crazy at some point, because at some point I'll have to draw a line in the sand and say, load it. But going to be an interesting year, 2019, for sure. So we'll stay on track here, and through the end of the year, and we're going to have some stand-ins doing the show while I'm out, or basically, having a new grandchild my first grandchild come and then CES. But yeah, so it's going to be a little nuts between December, really about December, from probably December 27th forward for about a month. It's going to be crazy. Probably a lot of audio only shows, but that's okay. Audio is just as good as video, right? Because we do both here. But those of you on the video feed are going to want to be connected to the audio feed through the end of December and all the way through January. All right, it's been my pleasure bringing you the show tonight. Thanks for being here. We'll be back with you on Monday. Again, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. @geeknews is my Twitter address. Don't forget about our sponsor at GoDaddy, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And we've had a couple new insiders come on. Thank you for your signups. I definitely appreciate it. Again, $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 a month at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time back here on Monday at the Geek News Central podcast at geeknewscentral.com. Take care. Aloha.